All right. Hey, babies. It's your girl, Nurse Reese, and you're watching Nurse Reese in the City. So, for today's live episode, um, I'm just going to do another Ask Me Anything. If no one jumps on, then this will be really fast. I'm just going to go over a quick, well, not a quick, but I'm going to go over my experience with clinicals dealing with Wilkes University. Before I get into that, I'll answer some questions that I have about Wilkes and the Postmaster's program. And um, I'll also answer some really quick Capella questions. So I'm going to just jump right into it. So one of the questions that I got recently, it, basically, I get a lot of questions asking um, if or for advice about whether to, go to an RN to MSN program that doesn't provide a bachelor's degree. I've talked about this before, but I'll touch base on it really quickly. It's ultimately a personal preference on whether you want to go to an RN to MSN program or RSN to BSN, and then go back for the MSN, or just go to an RSN, I said RSN, or just go to an RN program to MSN where they provide a bachelor's degree once you finish that portion. So, one of the reasons that it matters is it all depends on what you want to do. A lot of people enjoy like hospital nursing, bedside nursing, and a lot of the states now and a lot of the hospitals now, they require a bachelor's degree. So if you go to a program where it's, RN to MSN and they don't give you a bachelor's degree, then they overlook. It's weird, but they completely overlook the MSN if you don't have that concrete BSN. So just make sure that if that's something that you want to do, that you go to a school that is going to provide that BSN once you get past that portion, or just double back at, ask the question at some of the facilities or the hospitals that you'll be interested in working with if they'll accept your MSN as opposed to, a BSN. So ultimately, it's, a personal preference. Okay. So, um, okay. And I also get questions about whether, there's difficulty being accepted to programs, being had, receiving a, BSN, MSN through Capella. In my personal experience, I have not had any resistance from to continuing my education. So yeah, there hasn't been any barriers to that with a degree from Capella, with a BSN or MSN from Capella. So um, I wouldn't say that that was an issue, not for me in my personal experience. All right. So, let me see. Another question that I have is, let's see. They said, "Hi, are you getting into MSN this spring? Please give me a review as I am planning to get into this next start." I guess they're talking about at Wilkes. So, for those of you who know, I am not in an MSN program. I already have an MSN, so I'm in a post graduate program. So, at Wilkes, the postgraduate, well, the regular like BSN, well, they have the RN to MSN. They also have RN to BSN, and they have the postmasters. So I really can't speak on what those classes require, but I do know that it is more than the postmasters. For instance, for me, the postmasters was 5 semesters because I didn't have the 3 Ps. But if I did have that, then it would depending, it would only be 2 because I plan to go back anyway for the adult geriatric NP, and that's gonna only be 2 semesters. So it really depends. Yeah, someone asked me how long is the program. It depends on what credits that you bring. It depends on how many credits they accept. And it depends on what program you're going to. So even with the post graduate degree, and if I go back for like FNP, then it would be 3 semesters because one semester is designated for pediatrics. So it depends, but a lot of the information is on the website as far as what is required for the classes. So you could always go to their website and look. I can't compare one school to another because I didn't look into Chamberlain. I mean, I did briefly, but for whatever reasons I don't know offhand, I chose not to go with Chamberlain. So now I really want to get into let's talk about the clinical portion at Wilkes, okay? Before I do that, I'm just going to answer this question. Will I be doing the DNP program eventually? Yes. Will it be with Wilkes? No. Will it be with Capella? Possibly. I will definitely update you guys on where I decide to go. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I want my degree to say, Doctor of Nursing Practice in Psychiatric Mental Health. Um, so I've seen it and I want to go to a program that where I can do that. If it's going to require too much work, then I'm just going to go to Capella and just do or something similar to Capella that doesn't have too much resistance. I'm always about going towards the path of the least resistance. Okay. So, any other questions? Let me know before I get into this Wilkes University clinical preceptor situation because, child, it is messy. So when I got into the program, I got in under guaranteed clinical placement and all this other stuff. Um, and they say that the placement was like 98%, all this other stuff. But what I didn't realize is that a lot of the placement is being done by the students. So it's like a lot of the students are finding their own preceptors and then they're handing the school in a referral, and the school is following up on the referral. And then they make it seem as if, I guess according to their metrics, it's like they did it. They helped you do it. Ultimately, yeah, they have to go through the process of approving the preceptors and everything. But if you didn't find my preceptor for me and I did all the heavy lifting, then it's not the same thing. They talk about how they want you to be able to focus on your coursework and all this other stuff. Um, and it's just very stressful. Like, I'm not disgruntled because this is a mean to an end, but it's not what I thought it would be as far as them helping. And it's like they're letting in so many students that it's not really set up for them to be able to provide the students that they admit with preceptors that they don't have any preceptors. It's to the point where if I find a preceptor and I'm paying for this preceptor, then they'll ask my preceptor if they're willing to take on another student. And they may be, but if they are, they're not doing it for free. I mean, a lot of preceptors are not precepting for free. And at this point, like I want to give back. Even with my, RN, I gave back and I taught a lot of individuals how to pass the exam and so on for free. You know, but it's just not the way, it's just not the way that things are being done, and it's so unfortunate, and I don't know how what I would love to give back, but I have to see what's gonna happen once I cross that bridge. Of course I am, because that's just how I am in nature, but I don't know if that's gonna be, like, forever, because it's hard, and it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I'm still trying to pass the NCLEX RN. The struggle is real. Did you pass on your first try? Yes, the struggle is real. Um, um, PhD and Scrubs, you were on the last live, so thanks so much for joining again. And the last time I know I put out some resources for you. Have you had a chance to look at those resources? What have you been doing to study and to help tighten up, I guess, or review the core content and materials and the information and things like that. So you let me know and I'll get back into this Wilkes thing. So, overall, as of right now, the experience just has been not what I expected. And it's not what a lot of students in the groups on Facebook have expected. You're on your own self-taught program, basically, which I'm used to, so that's fine. But it's just like you're literally sink or swim. So I don't know. Would I say I recommend it? Whew, I don't know. I don't know if I would like legit recommend this program to anyone, but like I said, it is a means to an end, so I wouldn't knock it. But you really need to know what you're getting into before joining this program and any other program. And it's like they're heavy on the word semantics with the marketing and things like that. And then it's like not only that, they changed the wording. Like now, when I came in, it was, guaranteed clinical placement. But now I don't even like if you go to the website, it's a completely different wording. It's just completely different. So I don't know, but according to like the ANCC and the other accrediting bodies and licensing bodies, these schools are supposed to provide you with, you know, preceptors. So, this is just a thing overall that really needs to be looked into. And these schools, instead of taking people's money, you know, they really need to do what they need to do to make the experience better for the students so the students really can focus on their work because students shouldn't really be out here putting all their energy into trying to find a preceptor when they should really be focusing on their work. So I really just wanted to give you guys a real experience of what it's like at Wilkes. So if anybody has any other questions pertaining to Wilkes, let me see. Someone I said hi, thank you for the video. I'm trying to choose between Chamberlain and Wilkes. Do you have any advice? Wilkes said their fees are about $30,500. Let me see if I can open this. It says, but I wanted to know how much over it will be I will have to spend. Okay, so I don't know what program you're in, but in my program, I think it's about maybe 20,000, maybe a little under, maybe a little under. I'm paying like 10. I have 10 classes and they vary. The credits vary. So some are 2, some are 3. I don't think any were 4. I don't think any were 4. So it's like $728 per credit. Yeah. And then they charge about $87 per credit for like their student fees or whatever. So that gets taxed on. And I think other than that, all depending if you have to take like health assessment, then there's another fee for the program that we have to use. I forgot shadow health. So there's a fee for shadow health. Um, but other than that, there's no like real, high G royalty treats. How are you? Thanks for joining. Yeah, but other than that, there's no real well, those fees are hidden if you don't really ask. So, yeah, so they do have the, per credit and certain fees and books and stuff like that. I didn't buy any books, so um yeah, I didn't pay for books. Um that's a really good question. So I have a question. How are you able to manage work, home life, school, work, home life, school balance? Do you have support? Yeah, yes. It's all about time management. And I feel like as nurses, as healthcare professionals, when we're caring for people and we're providing, care, we need to have really good time management skills. But overall, as an individual, just a very efficient person just in my life. I have anxiety and things have to be a certain way. So I set a routine, like, I do my school, I start my schoolwork or whatever, around 8:30, at night between 8:30. If I have any, I set a schedule. I try to stick to the schedule. I try to stay on top of things. Um, So, home life, I cook, I don't cook every day, but I cook meals that, I guess meal prep. We'll say there's some meal prep, going on. And I do like to, spend time with family, make time on the weekends, to do things with my children and things like that. But yeah, I do have support, but it's not the support where I'm not working, I'm just going to school. And I have like a nanny. No, I don't, I don't have a nanny or anything, it's just if I need, usually on because I actually have a test this weekend and I'm studying. My children are not here. So this gives me the time to study for the exam and things like that. So yeah, I won't say that I don't have any support. I do. Support is very helpful. You do need support. Um, and you just need to be organized, come up with a schedule, stick to your schedule, and things like that. So, yeah, it's not easy, but it's not easy, but it is doable. It is definitely doable. Okay. So, let me see. Just want to make sure I'm answering everybody's questions. I think I did this already, but are the exams proctored? Are there required Zoom meetings or group projects? Oh, this is about Capella. So is there a flex path option? I don't know what program they're talking about. But with Wilkes, yeah, everything is proctored. Um, so far I haven't really had any group projects and there are no Zoom meetings. So no. At Wilkes, no, it's not competency based, but it is at Capella. Is definitely competency based in the Flex Path program. So yes, Flex Path is definitely competency based. Um, so that's really it. I just really wanted to let you guys know about, that. I'm trying to figure it. Do your children go with? Yes, they do. They go with family. Yes. Uh-huh. I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, like my children I don't want, they're not grown, but they're 5. And my daughter's 5 and she thinks she's 25. And my son's 11 and they're old souls. He's definitely an old soul. So my kids are different. They're just really good kids. They're really well behaved. They don't require much. So I am blessed in that sense. And I guess it's, the way I raise my children too. So it's not, even if my kids were here, it wouldn't be a strain on me. They know that I, have stuff to do and they respect that. And they'll go outside and play with their friends or they'll play with each other and they'll do things to occupy their time, and things like that. But I don't really like to do too much school stuff like during the time when I really should be spending with my children. During the week, they go to bed about like 8 and my son goes to bed like 9:30. So, when my daughter goes to bed, that's when he gets his free time to unwind and do his own thing. So that's why it allows me to study, around 8, 8:30 and do whatever it is that I need to do. So you really have to figure out your own, home, household, children, like your family, your children. Um, you just got to kind of figure out what works best for you. Um, yeah, really, it's just, kind of knowing yourself and knowing your children. So it's hard. It is hard, but once you get into a rhythm, it's good. Like for instance, well, this is actually my last exam. So after this weekend, basically, I'll be free. We have some things lined up. Summertime is coming, but even still, I'll be back in school because the semester starts again like May something. But still, we do things. We go out. We have fun. We spend time together. So it's all about. You still have to live. We may not travel as much, but we still. Oh, okay. So, I don't want to get all in your business, but if as long as it's being treated and things like that, and you know how to, manage the ADHD, and I don't know if you like have, go to have a psychiatrist or therapist or things like that. But yeah, that can definitely be challenging. That can definitely be challenging. So, do you have support? We could definitely talk like offline because I don't want, have, put all your business out there. But yeah, that is difficult. How old are your children? Yeah, how many children do you have? How old are they? Or how old are they? Because, sometimes the children can, entertain themselves and help each other with homework and things like that, unless they're really young. And that's where it can get kind of challenging. But let me know if anyone else has any questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did have questions written down somewhere, but let me see. I just want to make sure I'm missing anything. Okay, 6 and 8. So they're really close in age, and that's good too. But no, my only advice is 6 and 8. Try to get them to bed relatively early. Um, and even like, because you're still working on NCLEX. So, right now, 7 days in a week, maybe 2 or 3 of them, you set some time away to study. Um, maybe even an hour every day if you can, you know. Um, yeah, but I think it's more about routine and schedule. No one really likes routine, no one really likes schedule. But thank you so much. That's so sweet. Um, but when you really get into a routine and get into a schedule, they know what's expected of them. And, whether they have ADHD or autism or nothing. Once there's a routine, and kids start to look forward to that. My daughter, she actually, when school started going, she was going to bed 9:30, because this is actually her first time in the actual school. She did remote before, and she's only in kindergarten, but she was, like, sleeping in school. So I was like, you gotta go to bed earlier." So we switched it to 8, and she's sleepy now at, like, 7:30, 7 o'clock. She's ready to go to bed. So, once you put in a routine, they really do, start to, um, you know, it's not like, navigate towards it, or gravitate towards it. Alrighty. So, like I said, really, I just wanted to talk about the whole clinical experience, well, clinical placement experience with Wilkes. And oh yeah, before I go, let me see, because the last time I spoke to you guys it was February. Okay, so real quick, another update, and I hate that this was so scattered out, but I want you guys to know, when dealing with Wilkes, make sure that you guys get all of your clinical placement information in as soon as possible. Also, you're not able to call these people and just talk to them. You have to email these people, and even when you email them, you may not get a response until you are CCing like a higher up. So get into the habit of finding out who, I don't know what the exact name of it, but there's a person who is like a not it's not a, an ad- it's not an academic advisor or an admission advisor or anything like that. It's a person that's higher up in the school. But like each student has their own designated like staff person from the team who, I guess they're responsible for, in a way. I don't really know how to like to word this, but find out who that person is and CC that person on every single email, and then you'll start getting responses. Um, like I said, because uh, they're not like a director. I would have to find out what it is. It's not really. It's like an executive or something. I forget what it is, but we can say it's like a director. But their role is not director, but it's something. But each student has like this person that, it's not even a counselor, but let's just say it's like a counselor, but it's not the academic advising one, and it's just like it's a person, because this person, she's actually like an associate professor, and she's like the I'll have to find it, but it's on my phone, and I'm on my phone on Instagram. But either way, you'll know because it's on your degree plan. It tells you who this individual is. So you have to find out who this individual is and CC that individual in every single communication, and you'll get a response back. If you don't, you'll be waiting weeks to get a response. I know people who've been waiting more than 3 weeks to get a response. I CC this person and I get a response within 24 business hours. So yeah, but you really have to stay on top of them. And it's unfortunate, but it's like you have to do all the legwork. They make it seem like you don't have to do any of the legwork. You're just going to focus on your coursework, but that is not the case. And I'm highly upset about that, because the main reason why I chose Wilkes is because of the clinical placement. And if they wasn't going to find a clinical placement, find my placement for me, I could have went anywhere else. anywhere else. They're not, anywhere else. So that is very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And then there's a lot of discrepancies. Like, for instance, I have a multi-state license. So of course the school is not accepted and or approved in all states, but there's another student who had a preceptor there in Missouri, and the preceptor was approved. I also had a preceptor in Missouri, and my preceptor was not approved because they say that Missouri is not an approved state. They don't approve the school. So I'm like, how is it that this person, but you know what? No, let me finish that thought. How is it that this person, they had their preceptor approved, but not mine? Now, I'm not going to stress that because I've also seen a lot of kickback. A lot of people, when they go to apply to take the exam, the board exam, it's their application is being kicked back, and it's being kicked back because like certain classes are too old. It's being kicked back because just like their clinicals wasn't, were not done in the right state and things like that. So, I'm not gonna say I'm happy, but I'm not gonna push, getting my Missouri preceptor approved when I know that Missouri is not approved. Well, Wilkes is not approved in Missouri, if that makes sense. So, yeah, just be careful. Just do your due diligence in any school, But with Wilkes, it definitely was like a bait and switch. Definitely was a bait and switch. I will totally say that. So it's disheartening. Yeah, it's very disheartening. But what are you gonna do? Like you wasted all your money or you spent all your money already. So you just deal with it. But also there are a lot of people who sit out, who sit out. I know a person who has been sitting out for 2 semesters waiting on clinical placement. There's people who don't have the money to pay out of pocket for clinical placement, you know? So it's a lot. You definitely got to do your due diligence. All right. And that's why I do these videos to try to provide you guys information about my experience and things like that. So you guys kind of have some, inside information. So yeah, that's it. So that's it, because I got to get back to studying, but I really wanted to, chit chat with you guys for a minute. And I'm looking forward when I'm rested, refreshed to come back and do some, different videos. But for right now, it's going to be these AMA videos. All right, guys, I thank you so much for watching. If this was valuable, please like, share, subscribe. Please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers by my birthday in June. So please be sure to do that. And don't hesitate if you want. You can send me a little Cash App donation. Cash App is down below. Oh, it'll be down below. And that's it. Godspeed to you all. Wishing you all the best in all of your endeavors and everything that you guys got going on. Until the next time, take care.